For centuries, Africans have been portrayed as primitive, dangerous, or inferior. But have you ever asked yourself why? Why did empires, explorers, and colonizers all see Africa not just as a land to conquer, but as a threat to their power? Today, we're diving deep into the real reason Africa and its people have always been seen as a threat, spiritually, intellectually, and politically. Stay till the end, because what you'll learn might just change the way you see world history forever. Before slavery and colonization, Africa wasn't the dark continent the world was told it was. It was a network of thriving civilizations, from the universities of Timbuktu to the gold-rich empire of Mali, to the scientific and architectural wonders of Kemet, ancient Egypt, and Nubia. Africans were masters of astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and spirituality, long before Europe's so-called Age of Enlightenment. Empires traded with China, India, and Arabia. African explorers navigated the oceans, and African societies had their own laws, education systems, and economies. To outsiders, this was shocking. A continent that could sustain itself, and even outshine them, wasn't just different. It was dangerous to the story of European superiority. Throughout history, the powerful have always feared those who could challenge their dominance. Africa's strength, its people, its knowledge, its resources, posed a psychological threat to those who wanted to rule the world. Europe couldn't justify colonization and slavery if Africans were seen as equals. So they built a narrative of fear and inferiority, painting Africans as savages who needed saving, or as brutes who had to be controlled. This wasn't just racism, it was propaganda, a system designed to protect power. If Africans were respected, colonization would be impossible. If Africans were united, exploitation would fail. So division, fear, and lies became tools of survival for those who wanted to keep Africa down. Africa has always been the heartbeat of the world's wealth. Gold, diamonds, oil, rubber, fertile land. The resources that built Europe's cities and fueled America's industries came from Africa. But here's the truth. The colonizers didn't just steal resources, they feared what Africans could do with them. A self-sufficient Africa meant no dependency. A united Africa meant no control. So they ensured Africa remained a source of raw material, but never industrial power. Even after independence, economic systems were structured to keep Africa dependent, through debt, trade manipulation, and foreign interference. Because a wealthy, independent Africa is still seen as the greatest threat to global control. There's another dimension few talk about: spiritual power. African spirituality taught connection to nature, ancestors, and universal energy. It taught self-knowledge, inner balance, and respect for all life. These teachings threatened imported religions and colonial ideologies. They empowered Africans to look within for strength, not to outsiders. So traditional spirituality was labeled evil or pagan and systematically erased or replaced. But deep down, the colonizers knew a people who know their true spiritual power cannot be controlled. African music, art, language, and creativity have always influenced the world, often copied, commercialized, but rarely credited. From jazz to hip-hop, from dance to fashion, Africa's cultural rhythm shapes global culture. And yet for centuries, the world feared the power of African expression. Why? Because culture unites, because storytelling preserves truth, and because every song, every drumbeat, every symbol reminds the world that Africa's spirit can never be erased. To silence Africa's culture was to silence its identity. But no matter how hard they tried, Africa's voice kept rising. So why have Africans always been seen as a threat? Because Africa has always represented power, the power to create, to heal, to rise, and to lead. From ancient empires to modern movements, Africa's story has always been one of resistance and rebirth. And now, the world is witnessing a new awakening, a generation reclaiming its history, its languages, its confidence, and its future. The truth is simple. Africa was never the threat. Africa was always the mirror, showing the world what real power, unity, and humanity look like. If you learned something new today, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to New Africa History, where we explore the truth behind ancient Africa history. Until next time, stay conscious, stay powerful, and stay connected.